of for you to be a data scientist and also the skills required for you to be a data engineer. We'd also take a look at what the salary is like, because that is something that each and every one of us, I'm sure we are very, very much interested in. We want to be able to tell what will I be making? What will I make if I do go ahead right now to be a data engineer? If I do go ahead to be a data scientist, what is the prospects like? Am I gonna make good money? Good money that would enable you not just cater only for your wants, but also not just cater only for your needs, but also be able to get your wants. Sure, will be straightforward, just over an hour. So in less than 2 hours, we'll be out of here. We would use a practical approach. Would use a practical approach and taking a look at all of those things. What I mentioned, that's data science and data engineering. And most of all, we are going to have fun. Okay? So, no much talk. Let's get into it. And I'm going to pull up my screen, so just give me a moment. Okay, so like I said, we'll be taking a look at the data scientist, as data scientist versus data engineer, which is right for you. We'll take a look at the skills and the salaries we've revealed, okay? And first and first, maybe this is the first time you're joining a analytics session. This is the first time where you're joining a masterclass. Uh, you might be wondering, what is Analytics about? Who is Analytics? So Analytics is an edtech company, and what we do is that we help as many Africans and people of the Black community transition into tech by lowering the tech barrier. So we have programs across data analytics, business analysis, to data engineering, data science, which we would be talking about today, to financial analytics, to HR analytics, HR project management, cybersecurity, and of course AI engineering, which is coming soon. Our facilitators are from the Fortune 500 companies, so you know that you are in good hands when you go ahead to register for any one of our programs. And about me, a little bit about myself. So I'm Isisa Gbolaho, as you can see from the name tag at the bottom left. And I'm the lead in charge of training operations here at Analytics with over 5 years of experience from data analytics to business analysis, Power Platform, and predictive AI engineering. But enough about the introductions. Enough about the introductions. Let's get into what we are really here for. Let's get into the different aspects. We'll be taking a look at 4 different aspects. The first thing we take a look at is data science and data engineering skills and salaries, which I talked about. We'd also take a look at how we can help you get a job, how you can transition to becoming a data scientist or a data engineer, the upcoming cohort that's coming up, and of course, we take some questions, and I'll also tell you at the discount which is available for you. But before I move on, I would like to get our thoughts. Before I move on, I would like to get our thoughts. Like I said, when you choose between data science and data engineering, which do you think you would like to be a part of? Now, at the moment, you might not really know which of them to choose because you don't know what they actually mean. You don't know the skills required for you to be a part of, for you to be a data scientist or for you to be a data engineer. You don't know the salary at the moment, what you'll be expecting in terms of wages, in terms of the Benjamins. You don't know all of those things. But if you were to choose, if you were to select something, which would you go for? And I would like to get your responses. So which would you go for? Would you rather be a data scientist or would you be a data engineer? What will you go for, Emeka, Emmanuel, Kelvin, Williams? What will you go for? Would you rather be a data scientist or a data engineer? Come on. So I need responses, okay? I need responses. Would you rather be a data scientist or a data engineer? So Maker says a data engineer. I wonder why. Why is Maker choosing to be a data engineer? Any other person? Any other person? Kelvin, which of them would you like to go into? Would you want to be a data scientist or would you want to be a data engineer? So Kelvin also says data engineer. No one wants to be a data scientist. Is that the case? Is that the case? No one wants to be a data scientist. Okay, so we have Williams. Williams wants to be a data scientist. Emeka says a data engineer builds the pipeline. Fantastic. A data engineer builds the pipeline. So Emeka has some inkling of an understanding of what data engineering is all about. Fantastic. But let's move on. We will be using a case study approach to actually see what a data scientist does and what a data engineer does. And we would also use this case study approach to take a look at the skills that is required for you to either be a data engineer or for you to be a data scientist. We will take a look at what it means to be a data engineer and what it means to be a data scientist. And we use the case study, like I said. Here's the case study. Let's say you've been employed. So we have this company and we call the company Secure Pay. Okay. So we call the company Secure Pay. Now, Secure Pay, they are based in Dublin, in Ireland, and they noticed that they've been having some issues. They noticed an uptick in fraudulent transaction in recent months. And so the CEO was like, okay, so since we are in finance and we've been having some issues with our data, we need to bring in a data team that would help us to figure out what the problem is, help us create well-secured databases, help us analyze our data to tell us areas that we are really not making correct decisions, so we can go ahead to make better decisions. And they brought in the data scientist and also the data engineer. The data scientist and also the data engineer. What are they both going to do? What will the data scientist do? And what will the data engineer do? What are they going to help a Secure Pay do? Easy. We begin with the data scientist. We begin with the data engineer. The data engineer is similar to, everyone know a plumber. Do we know who a plumber is? Do we know who a plumber is? Have we ever, maybe you've called a plumber to come over to your house to fix some issues? I want to believe everyone knows who a plumber is. So if you know who a plumber is, send a 1 to the chat box. Okay. If you know who a plumber is or what a plumber does, send a 1 to the chat box. Send the 1 to the chat box if you know who a plumber is or what a plumber does. No one knows a plumber? Is that the case? No one knows who a plumber is. Isaac, do you know a plumber? I'm talking about those guys that fix pipes, okay? The number one, okay, the number one. I meant send the I should have been clear, Emmanuel. So send the number 1. So Rebecca says a plumber takes care of waste from a building. Yes. And also a plumber is the person that is in charge of connecting the different pipes. So let's say there's this main water source, right? There's this main water source where the water is pumped, where the water is gotten from. And then you have your house. And in your house, there are different sections. There are different rooms in your house. You have the bathroom, you have the restroom, that's the toilet, you have the what else? You have the kitchen, you have the living room, although you might not really need pipes in the living room. You have the garage. Now you have all of those different sections in your house. You have all of those different rooms. You need water in some of those rooms. Now, the plumber would help you in connecting pipes, would go to the main water source, and then we connect different pipes to your room, to the different rooms. So the different rooms in your house would have access to water. That is who a data engineer is. That is what a data engineer does. What do I mean by that? As you can see from the screen at the moment, okay, as you can see from the screen, we can see some pipe-like columns, okay? What a data engineer does is that a data engineer would get data from where the data from where data is located, from the various data sources. We get data from the various data sources, and then we provide and then we create pipelines. So they will create pipelines, just like Emmanuel mentioned, where the data will pass through, and then these data will be pushed to your databases or your data warehouse, your data lakes, whatever the organization uses. The data engineer is the one responsible for providing the data that the data scientist will work with. A data scientist needs data to work. Without data, you can't work as a data scientist. But where is that data coming from? Where is the data coming from? That data is coming from the data engineer. Okay, so the data engineer is the one in charge. The data engineer is the one in charge of what? Of getting the data from the different locations. And as you can see from this, the data engineer gets data from the mobile application that the company uses, gets data from the web application the company uses, from the ATM when people are going ahead to make to withdraw, and then from the POS. And then we have a pipeline. Data is connected to this mobile database, your database talking about your SQL database, mostly your relational databases. That's your SQL database, while your no relational databases are known as your no SQL database. And then also over here, we see the web application database, the ATM database, and the POS database. And then all of this data is then taken to the warehouse, where the data scientists can get the data from, where the data scientists can extract the data from. This is done using a process known as the ETL, that's the extract, transform, and load. The first stage is the extract, which is when the data engineer is connecting that pipeline. Now, the pipeline is not a physical pipeline. So don't think that as a data engineer, I'm going to go buy pipes in the market. And then after buying my pipes, I'm now going to probably dig and connect pipes using the underground system and connect it to wherever the database is. No, that's not what happens. The pipes are let's call them cloud pipes. It's just you trying to create some sort of gateway between between your data and where the data needs to be, with codes, working with different programming languages, which we will get to. Okay, so the data engineer gets the data from the different places, which is your extract. When you are extracting, what does extract mean? Extract means to take out, to suck from something, to collect something, extract. That's what the data engineer does. Extract the data from the mobile app, extract the data from the web application, extract the data from the ATM, extract the data from the POS. After extraction, sometimes the data might come in formats that are really not what you want. The data might come in formats that are really not good enough for analysis. And so the data engineer now carries out what we call transformation. And what is transformation? What does it entail? What does it involve? Transformation involves your data filtering, your data cleaning. Okay, data cleaning involves you filtering your data, probably removing duplicates, you modeling your data modeling, working with your pandas and your NumPy, and a couple of other things. All of those things are done in the transformation phase. After this data has been transformed, after the data has been cleaned, after the data has been modeled, then the data is now pushed to the warehouse or the database, as the case may be. Extract, transform, and load. That is what the data engineer does. Now, what about moving on? What are the skills required for you to be a data engineer? We'll get there. We'll get there. But just like I mentioned, different data sources. You extract the data from different data sources. And then you do what? You transform. This is extract. Extract means to what? To collect the data. The data could be in the website. The data could be anywhere. Collecting the data is you extracting. After extracting, you want to clean up the data. You want to model the data sometimes. That's what we call data modeling. You want to transform the data. Probably you want to you want to maybe enrich the data, talking about your data enrichment. After doing all of that transformation, you then load. And most of the time, loading is done in a SQL database. Now, I talked about relational database and non-relational databases. What is relational database and what's a non-relational database? A relational database is talking about your table data. Your table data, data that can be arranged in your table, where you have your rows and your columns. Your rows and sorry, rows and columns. Okay, so rows are the horizontal strips and the columns are the vertical ones. So your rows and your columns, those are your relational databases. So since you say on your SQL, if you're familiar with SQL, or maybe even on your Excel somewhat, Excel is not a database. On your Excel, you can see rows and columns. So the way that data is arranged, that's your SQL, that's your SQL database. And then for your NoSQL database, which is your non-relational databases, there are databases that are not necessarily going to be in rows and columns. Rather, they where you can just where you have your where you can place your different kinds of data, such as let's say pictures, maybe publications, like just a bunch of data, not necessarily data that you can arrange in rows and columns, like your age. Let's say you have the people on the call right now, so the different participants of the call. So you can categorize by, let's say, first name, last name. Non-relational databases are when you can't categorize the data and you just need a place to store all of that data. So most of the times you work with SQL. You also work with NoSQL databases, but most of the time you work with your SQL database. So the data is loaded into PostgreSQL, working with your Python and working with your SQL. There are different kinds of SQLs. There you have your MySQL, your PostgreSQL, your Oracle, and a couple of other things. So as a data engineer, you want to have knowledge about all of these different tools, most especially your PostgreSQL. And then you load your data. After loading your data, now your data is now in your data warehouse or your database. Your data warehouse in this case, it can be your cloud platforms. That's your AWS, your Azure, your BigQuery, or that's your GCP, your Google Cloud Platform. Okay, this is your Google Cloud Platform. So that can be where you store your data. Your data warehouse, when you say warehouse, what do you mean? Your warehouse is a place where you store things, where you store goods, I believe. Am I right or am I wrong? What's a warehouse? A warehouse is a place where you store goods, where you store things, where you store items, things that you want to, where you store items. All right. That's still the same case when you're talking about your data warehouse. But in this case, your warehouse is where you store data. And so your AWS, that's your cloud platforms, AWS, your Azure, your GCP, they can all serve as what? As your data warehouse. Are we all together? If you know you're with me, send I'm with you to the chat box. Okay? If you're with me, send I am with you to the chat box. If you're not with me, send wait for me. Okay? If you're with me, send I'm with you. If you're not with me, send wait for me. So I want to get a response from everyone. Abby, are we together? Adekule, Callistus, are we together? James, Kelvin. Okay. So Shade says wait for me. Okay, so Kelvin says I'm catching up. So Eben says I'm with you. Fantastic. David says I'm with you. Ella Hall says just a minute. Jamie says I'm with you. All right, all right. Tony, what about you? Are we together? Shade, Samson. Okay, so I can say a couple of waits for me. Wait for me. Don't leave me. Don't leave me. Okay, so no problem. I'll give a recap. Okay, I'll just give a quick recap. So a data engineer, what does a data engineer do? A data engineer is the data professional that is in charge of getting the data from wherever the data is located. Because as a data scientist, a data analyst, a financial analyst, as long as you are in the data sphere, there's something that is sure. You are going to be working with data. But where is that data going to come from? Who is going to provide the data? That is where the data engineer comes in. So the data engineer would bring all of that data, would grab the data, would say, oh, you know what? You data, come here. You that other data, come here. Would grab all of the data and then would place it in a data warehouse. And now, what about the data scientist? The data scientist would now go ahead to build things like your predictive models, your to carry out your analytics reports on that data. They will now connect to that data warehouse. They're not going to connect. The data analyst or the data scientist would not connect to the mobile application. They would not connect to the web app. No, they don't necessarily have the skills for that, except maybe you have a data scientist that's also a data engineer. All right. But they would not connect to all of the sources. No, rather, they will connect to your data warehouse or your database because the data has already been placed there. The data has been prepared. It's just like, what kind of example should I use now? Okay, great. It's just like your when you want to bake, you use your flour. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Okay, you use your flour when you want to bake. So let's say you want to bake a cake. Where does flour come from? Okay, you know what? Let's start with this. You want to bake a cake. What is the main ingredient, the most important ingredient you need in baking that cake? What is it? The most important ingredient you need in baking a cake. What is that ingredient? Without this, nothing is going to happen. It's the most important. It forms the base of everything. The flour. Thank you very much, Shadi. Thank you, Tinu. So yes, it is the flour. Without the flour, you can't do anything. Without sugar, you can bake a cake. Maybe the cake might not be as sweet as it would have been, but you can bake a cake. Without butter, you can also bake a cake, just that the cake might not really look like a cake, but at least you can have something. Okay, but without flour, I don't think there's gonna be any show. So yes, with the cake, to bake a cake, you need what? You need the flour. You need the flour to bake a cake. Great, we've been able to establish that. Now, where does flour come from? Where does flour come from? Where does flour come from? It's going to be a very interactive one. So I need responses. I don't think I've ever gotten a response from Oluke. Oluke, I need responses, okay? Come on, guys. It's going to be a very interactive session. This is not a session whereby I speak and speak and speak and speak and we're all just listening, saying, oh, I'm just waiting for it to be done. No, this is going to be an interaction between you and I. So where does flour come from? Something says wheat. Tinu says grain. So Tino and Samson, I'm gonna take that as the same because grain is wheat is a kind of grain, yeah. So and where does flour come from? Luke says grain. Fantastic. Now I've gotten a response from Luke. Okay, great. So that means we're rolling. Shade says wheat and other grains. Great. Yeah, you're correct. So flour comes from what? Flour comes from grains. There are different kinds of flour, really, but wheat is the most popular kind of flour. All right. So we have the cake. For you to get a cake, you need the baker. The baker would do the magic. We go ahead to say abracadabra, working with what the flour, trying to concoct some sort of potion, and the baker would work with the flour. But the baker does not necessarily know how to plant wheat, produce the flour. But they can use the flour to create what? Cake. But they cannot necessarily create flour. Same thing for the farmer that's planting the wheat. The wheat, okay? The wheat, the farmer can, it's not, the farmer cannot necessarily bake a cake, but they can provide the wheat that will be used for what? For creating the flour. That's the same thing here. The data engineer is the farmer in this case, providing the wheat. The data warehouse is where the wheat becomes flour. Because when the data engineer gets the data, they will transform, ensure it's cleaned up, loaded the data, and then push to the data warehouse. Thereby, the wheat now becoming the flour. But we can't do nothing with flour. We cannot just go ahead and start eating some flour. Okay, okay. It needs to be converted to something, and this is where the data scientist comes in. So the data scientist would now convert that flour to a cake. In this case, the data scientist now converting that data that was transformed and pushed into the data warehouse to what? To a dashboard to tell insights, to a predictive model that's building machine learning models to be able to carry out predictive analytics. So that is what the data engineer does, and then that is what the data scientist does. But what do you need to be a data engineer? Like I said, we already know that the data engineer is like a plumber. As you can see from this point, they have some sort of hat. This is not, I would not necessarily say this is a plumber's hat, but let's assume it's a plumber's hat. So we have this data engineer, this data engineer, yeah, working on the server. A data a data engineer is responsible for designing, constructing, maintaining the infrastructure, ensuring that we have that you can easily retrieve data and that we have good storage of data. Carrying out three main things: your extract, your transform, and your load. ETL. But what is needed for you to be a data engineer? Because I can see Eben is already asking, do you need to be able to program to be a data engineer? The answer is a resounding yes. Okay, the answer is a resounding yes. You need to be able to program to be you need to be able to program to be what? To be a data engineer. And the first thing you need to learn about is your Python. You need to be able to carry out to work with Python, because Python is the bread and butter of every data engineer. And Python, as we all know, it's a programming language. So you need to learn how to use Python. Your SQL, which is what you are going to use in interacting with relational databases. SQL also involves coding, although SQL coding it's not, I really don't like referring to it as code. It's more like just English, okay? But Python, you work with Python, you work with your Apache Airflow, which is used for your orchestration tool. That's for your data pipeline automation. What does that mean? That means that you've created the pipeline that is sucking the data. You have a pipe. Yeah. Oh, let's put it this way. Your orchestration is your tap. You know your tap where you open and close. So you can open your tap, you get your water, and when you're done, you close. Your plumber installs taps because they don't want a situation whereby every time you need to get water, they need to create pipes all over again. But rather, they've created some sort of automation to the process that when you want water, all you need to do, you just open up the tap, it will trigger the pipes, and of course, water flows, you get your water, and then you close it. It's like they've been able to automate the process somewhat. That is what your Apache Airflow will do. That's your data orchestration tool. So that whenever data is needed, all that needs to be done, probably via a timeline or by the click of a button, the code would run again. The data would go check if the code will go check if there's new data in the pipeline, get all of that data, and send it over to you. So what will you be learning as a data engineer? I mentioned your Python, your SQL, your Linux, your ETL pipelines, because you're going to be building ETL pipelines. You need a good understanding of APIs. That's your application programming interfaces, your Apache Spark, which is also known as your PySpark, when it comes to analyzing millions and millions and millions of data, big data. Your AWS for cloud engineering, or you would also be learning about your Azure, and of course your GitHub for version control. Those are what you need to be a data engineer. But moving on, what about the data scientist? We talked about the data scientist being involved in three main areas: the extract, transform, and load, your ETL. The different processes anyways. The data engineer can also carry out what we call the ELT, which is your extract, load, and transform. But we won't go into that today, okay? ETL is the most basic one, But there's also some other couple of processes. So that is what the data engineer does. You extract, you transform, and then you load. What about the data scientist? What does the data scientist do? Does someone want to give a try? Does someone want to give a try? What do you think the data scientist does? So we know that the data engineer, the entire thing of being a data engineer is your extract, transform, and load. I already mentioned that you can have different kinds of processes. You can have your extract loads, that's your ELT. You can even have your ETLT, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. And so for the data scientist, does anyone have an inkling? I don't think anyone will be able to get this. What do you think is the entirety about data science? I don't think anyone on this call will be able to get it. If you're able to get this, I'm going to give you a gift at the end of the session. If you get this correctly, I will give you a gift at the end of the session. No one. So no one is going to even attempt this. No one. Probably some persons are currently on ChatGPT. Okay, some persons are currently on ChatGPT on Google trying to check out what's the answer. What's the answer? So I can see Emeka says foretell the future of the data. Tino says a data scientist uses visualizations. Samsi says a data scientist analyzes data. Shade says extract insights from large amounts of data. Emeka says foretell the future. Okay, corrected himself. Callisto says uses the data to predict the future. And William says interpret data. Many of us, we got the answer, but not completely. Okay, we got the answer somewhat, but not completely. So would I be giving you a gift? Let's see. A data scientist, just like the entire thing of being a data engineer is your ETL. The entire thing of being a data scientist are your three different analytics. Starting with what happened. The data science program at Analytics is actually called the full stack data science. So you are going to be a full stack data scientist, not just any kind of data scientist, but a full stack data scientist. Why? Because you are going to be involved in the three different kinds of analytics. Starting with what happened. That's your descriptive analytics. A data scientist should be able to talk about what happened in an organization. What does the data say? What did we do this year? It's the end of the year. Many companies are going to be having the end of the year roundup, where they take a look at their current data, to determine if they were able to achieve their goals for the year, to determine if they were able to get the profit that they actually wanted to get at the start of the year, to determine if they actually did achieve each and everything they set out for the organization. They all want to know what happened. And this is your descriptive analytics. A descriptive analytics involves you taking a look at historical data and understanding what happened over time. What happened? A data scientist also answers another question. Why did it happen? What happened? You know that. But why did it happen? Because let's say as a company, you were the data scientist for this company, and you went ahead to analyze the data to take a look at the descriptive analytics, and you noticed that the company actually made $2 million in profit. So at the start of the year, the company made $1 million. The company projected that they will be making $1 million in profit. But after taking a look at the descriptive analytics, that's what happened. You notice the organization actually made $2 million in profit. Every sane businessman, every good business person would, at the end of the day, they would want to know, why did it happen? Because you would want to be able to replicate whatever it is you did that made you make that amount of money, so you can do that for the next year, and so you can make that same amount of money. So every good businessman or businesswoman would want to go ahead to now understand why did this happen? And that's where diagnostic analytics comes in. What's your diagnostic analytics? Your diagnostic analytics is now you figuring out why did it happen. Oh, made 2 million as a business. Why? And for you to be able to do this, you need to carry out things such as your correlation analysis, such as your time series analysis, to see how the different how the historical data changed with time. You implement detailed drill down capabilities in your dashboard, align other team members to click on specific transaction or anomalies to view more detailed information. For example, we noticed that we had a spike in May. We had a spike in May in terms of sales. Why? So in your dashboard, you would now have things like your slicers that you can click on, and that will filter the entire dashboard to show you information about a specific section. And so now that you've been able to figure out why it happened, maybe there's this particular products that customers love to buy, and they bought a whole lot of the products in May. And maybe the reason they bought a whole lot of the products in May is because there was this particular celebrity that used the product. And for the celebrities and influencers, they have some sort of pull over some people. And maybe that was the reason why we had an increase in sales. Why did it happen? But the data scientist does not just stop there. If the data scientist was only going to take a look at what happened and why did it happen, the data scientist would no longer be a data scientist, but rather the data scientist will now be a data analyst. A data scientist takes things a step further. A data scientist becomes the Terminator. A data scientist becomes Zillion, if you are familiar with League of Legends. I'm sure everyone now, some persons on the call, you've watched Arcane. Does anyone on the call, have you watched Arcane? I feel or maybe we don't watch movies. I noticed recently that adults don't really, as adults, we don't take time to take care of ourselves. Okay, we're always so busy trying to get to work, trying to spend time with the kids, spend time with our spouse, which is a good thing. And then at the end of the day, we don't take our time for ourselves. Is there anyone on the call that has watched Arcane? I doubt it. Okay, but everyone knows Terminator. Do you know Terminator? No one knows Terminator. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Okay, so what do we know? What do we know? And the reason I'm asking this question, I want to give an example, and I'm trying to find the right example for my audience. Okay, so when I'm explaining something, you understand what I'm saying. Okay, everyone knows Terminator. Hasta la vista. We all know hasta la vista. Okay, so everyone knows Terminator. Great. So you know the Terminator. The Terminator is a robot from the future. They come from the future, having seen what happened in the future, and come to the past to trying to change things, either by protecting someone or the other. Okay, so the other. Uh, so as a data scientist, you become the Terminator. Now you're not gonna come back in time to come and maybe remove some persons from the heads. No, you're not gonna do that. But rather, you will be able to see and know what happened in the future, because you will be able to have what we call your predictive analytics, be able to take a look at the future based on the data and predict what will happen. Oh, in the next 5, 6, 7 years, I can now tell you that we are going to make this amount of money. I can tell you that we are going to lose this amount of money. For you to be able to carry out your predictive analytics, there are different things that you do. For example, you need your forecasting. You need to be able to build your machine learning models with your Python. All right. You need your EDA. Of course, your machine learning models is what's going to take the cake. That's what is going to help you in predicting what will happen. So, what happened? Why did this happen? And what will happen? It seems no one got my answer. Saying it seems no one is getting a gift. I was actually prepared to give a gift at the end of the session, but it is what it is. Okay, so moving on. What what does the data scientist need? What does the data scientist need to know? What does the data scientist need to learn? The data scientist, of course, applies advanced analytics, statistics, and machine learning techniques. What is machine learning? Machine learning, from the word, even if you decide to forget all about tech and you were asked, what is machine learning about? The first thing that will come to your mind will be a machine that goes to school and sits in school, probably in high school. Let's say the machine is in fifth grade, goes to school, and then what? Sits and listens to the teacher and learn. Machine learning. A machine that is learning. Would you believe me if I tell you that's actually what it is? But that's actually what machine learning is. I know it might the phrase might say, oh wow, machine learning, but that's what it is. A machine learning. And how do you, who is the teacher in this case? The teacher in this case is the data scientist. You will be the teacher. I remember someone mentioned that they would like to be a data scientist. I believe that was Williams. Okay, so Williams, you would be the teacher and you will be teaching machines. You'll be like, oh, this is what you need to do. A for apple, B for ball, C for cat, and D for dog. A for apple, B for ball, C for cat, and D for dog, E for egg, and F for fish. Apologies about the song. So it's something that we teach kids. So if you have kids, you understand what you understand what I'm saying. But yeah, so you as a data scientist, what do you do? You teach these machines. Now, how would you teach these machines? You teach the machines by providing data. Machine learning is all about you providing large chunk of data that the machine would use the machine would take a look at that data, would use that data to create a pattern. And based on that pattern, it will be able to predict what the future holds. Someone say machine learning. Someone said machine learning to the chat box. Someone said, or you can say ML, ML for short, ML. If you're with me, send machine learning to the chat box. Thank you very much, Shema. All right. Thank you, Chida, sir. If you would be send machine learning, fantastic. Thank you, Sade. So that is what machine learning is all about. You teaching machines. So you provide this data to the machines. Of course, it's not just you need to write code. So for it's code, you're not gonna okay. So you need to write codes to fix all of that. But that's what you're actually doing. You have a bunch of data that you're providing to this machine to learn. That is the reason why machine learning is actually somewhat intertwined to your predictive to your AI engineering. Because AI is actually built on machine learning because the AI is learning based on data that you provide to it, to use that data to learn and be able to use that data to make decisions. As a data scientist, you learn about statistics. That's actually what you begin with anyways, not your machine learning. You learn about statistics. We know the mean, the median, the mode, all things that we learned back in high school. But how does that really affect you? How does that really affect a business? What we learned in high school was all theory, or maybe you studied statistics in school, that's in the university, maybe in master's as a first degree, or maybe it's a master's, or maybe a PhD. All right. But we know the theoretical meaning of statistics. What you get to learn as a data scientist is how statistics comes into play as a business. You're forecasting and predictive analytics using Excel. You learn how to work with Excel to what? To predict the future. Many persons are like, Excel is dying, it's old school, it's old school. And that is really not the case. Just last year, Microsoft was working on a way to incorporate Python into Microsoft Excel. You have your Tableau for data analytics, which you, of course, you're going to learn for your descriptive and your diagnostic analytics, your SQL for querying your databases, Python programming, your EDA, which is your exploratory data analysis, your machine learning, computer vision, your GitHub, ChatGPT for analytics, because we're in the world of AI, and of course, Microsoft Fabric for analytics. And the different parts that are available to you as a data scientist or to you as a data engineer. It ranges from roles in data analytics because I remember the name of the program. It's not just data science, but rather it is called the full stack data science. The full stack data science. Okay, and why is it called the full stack data science? It's called the full stack data science because, and like I mentioned, you get to learn about descriptive and diagnostic analytics. So you can apply for roles in data analytics. You can apply for roles as a data scientist, a machine learning engineer, a forecasting analyst, a planning analyst, your big data analyst, and so on and so forth. And as a data engineer, you can apply for roles as a data engineer, an analytics engineer, a BI engineer, AWS a cloud engineer, Azure cloud engineer, GCP cloud engineer, your database administrators, of course, your ETL developers, your big data engineer, and your database and network security specialist as well. That's your database specialist. The network specialist is actually a role for cybersecurity analysts. But let's not get into that. Okay, as a data engineer, you can also work as a database specialist. That's a database security specialist. So many opportunities and so much more. If you were following, you'll notice I haven't mentioned some roles that are not in the list because there are so many. We can't place everything in here. Okay. And what are the salary expectations like? Because at the end of the day, we still want to make the Benjamins. We still want to be able to make that amount of money. That you can go on a trip to Greece and like like someone said, I want to be in Greece and I want to be I can be on a rooftop in vacation in Greece. Is actually one of the testimonials. So about how he wanted to get a job for him to be able to work anywhere in the world, work in Greece. He can work from a rooftop, and I'm not paraphrasing this were the exact words of that fantastic participant that went through the technologies program and of course got a job. He said, I want to be in a rooftop in Greece and be able to walk, and that was very fantastic. So where do you what you also want to know, what are the salary expectations? Because you want to also be able to get your wants and not just your needs. As a data scientist in the UK, the average salary in the UK as a data scientist is what, £55,000. In Canada, that's 94,000 Canadian dollars, and in the US, that's $320 dollars. Now, note this is this average. That means that you would have data scientists that earn above this, and you would have data scientists that also earn below this. And for data engineers, we have those in the UK and it's 65,000 pounds. In Canada, 802,000 Canadian dollars, and in the US, 830 dollars. That is the median salary. That's the average salary. It's good. But the fact that those roles, it's juicy, it's easy. I used to say, right now you might be wondering, oh, I used to say, I've been listening to you. Everything you're saying so far, I can hear you. Okay, I hear you loud and clear. But because the role I can get, 6 figures if I work in the US with this role, is this something I should really get into? Because it's one thing for the job to be high paid. Yes, it is. And don't just take this from me. Also, take a look at the reports that we found. That's from the World Economic Forum, where they published the future of job reports that showed those roles that are going to increase with time in terms of demand, and also those roles that would decrease with time in terms of demand. Those by the right, those by the left are those that would what increase with time, and that's what we're interested in. And over here, you see that you have AI and machine learning specialists. Remember, I talked about machine learning. And then, of course, you have the data analyst and scientists. These are both data scientist roles. And the projections are looking very great. There's so many opportunities available right now. If you are in the UK and you go on read.co.uk and you search for data analyst or data scientist roles, you are going to get nothing less than 100 new roles that were uploaded just today. And so you can apply for as many roles as you want, because the more you apply, the more your chance of you getting a job. So you can apply to many roles as you want. You can apply to, let's say, 60 roles today. Tomorrow you come to the site, you have 100 new roles. So many opportunities. And as a data engineer, you have the big data specialist, the data engineer listed, of course, your database architects. These roles are very, very, very much lucrative, and it's something that you should get into. But are there people that have been able to make the switch? Are there people that have been where you are currently? You're currently thinking, should I go for this? Should I not go for this? Should I go ahead to, should I go ahead to actually register? Is it possible? Because all of this things I'm saying right now, yeah, I get him. But the fact it worked for others wouldn't work for me. What did I do? Are there people that have been able to make the switch? People that were previously and in my current situation, that have been able to transition, that have been able to get that job of their dreams? And the answer is yes. We have so many people that we've been able to help, over 2,500 individuals that we've been able to help transition from the classroom into getting their first job in tech. We have Lois that went through our business analysis program that we were able to help get a job as a project manager in the UK. From Ungozin to Tony that went through our data analytics program and got a job as a benefit analyst with the NHS in the UK, which was a sponsored job. We have so many testimonials. We have Abisola. Abisola got a job about 2 months ago. You can listen to Abisola again. Once you get the slides, ensure you go through the slides to listen to all of this, all of these people speak on how they were able to transition and how you can also get a job. How Abisola joined our full stack data science program, and she's currently working as a machine learning engineer. Maybe we should listen to Abisola. Just give me a moment. I think I'm going to click on this link and let's listen to Abisola together. Okay, so let's listen to Abisola. I'm gonna bring up that testimonial so we get to take a look at it together. Just give me a moment. So I'll just click on that link.
Hello everyone.
Okay, so I'm just gonna share my screen. So I just moved to my other screen so we can all see that. All right, so this is Abisola.
Hello everyone.
How we're able to help
I
Abisola.
bumped in on a video about analytics on Twitter. I visited their page on LinkedIn and saw some other testimonials, then went onto their website to see the different trainings they offered. And so I chose the full stack data science program, and that was how I started. I already had a tech background, so the goal for me was not to forget what I already knew, and also to try to secure a job and to have a network where I can fall back on when I needed help. The learning experience at Analytics was a good one. I interacted and met new people. In particular for me were the other sessions apart from the regular classes on CV reviews and how to approach interviews. I actually got my first role the month I started the program as a Python curriculum developer. Then I recently got another role as a machine learning engineer after that contract ended. I have to mention that Analytics offered and still offer interview prep sessions that participants could book on the classrooms. The guys I prepped with were really helpful with my interviews, and the good thing is you can book sessions even after the program ends. My job role basically involves creating generative AI architecture using AWS, and I'll be applying some of the skills I gained from Analytics like Python skills. Finally, my advice for anyone still contemplating on whether to join analytics is to join, because apart from the tech skills you learn, there are loads of other benefits which you can always access even after the end of your program.
All right. So that is data that has been analyzed. We are going to take a look at all of those things based. Okay, so that was Abisola, and this is me. Okay, that was another section. So Abisola was able to what? Abisola was able to transition to get a job as a machine learning engineer. She got two roles. 1 month into the program, she got a good job as a Python curriculum designer, and then the other she got a job as a machine learning engineer with a company in the UK. We have Oluwafikayo that got a job as a business solutions analyst after going through our full stack data science program. Okay, and then we have so many persons. We also have this is Joel. So let's also take a look at Joel. Joel got a job as a data engineer. All right, and I'm gonna pull up Joel's testimonial so maybe if you're looking to get into data engineering, maybe you're not about data science, you want to get into data engineering, and you're wondering, is it possible for you as well? So let's take a look at Joel. Okay, let's take a look at Joel. Just give me a moment. So I can see a question for I can see Shade is asking. So for those that don't have a tech background, how do we go about this? You don't need to have a tech background. You absolutely do not need to have a tech background. Yes, while Abisola might have had some knowledge, okay, Oluwafikayo is different. As you can see, Oluwafikayo had a finance and accounting background, nothing in tech. Or maybe we should also take a look at Oluwafikayo's testimonial. Okay, Oluwafikayo had what? No background in tech. She had a finance and back. She worked in finance, and then she got a job as a business solutions analyst with a company in Canada. Okay, so just give me a moment. I want to pull up Joel's testimonial. Okay, so we can also take a look at that together. Okay, just give me a moment. So you don't need to have any prior knowledge. You don't need to have any prior knowledge.
Hello everyone. So
okay. So I'm just gonna go to, just give me a moment. So there's so many testimonials. So many persons that we've been able to help. Okay, so like I mentioned, over 2,500 people. And so we really can go through everything. Okay, we really can go through everything. So I just want to also go through, okay, sorry, I clicked on the wrong one. Also, also want to go through
Hello everyone.
Joel. So let's take a look at Joel. So this is Oluwafikayo. So we really don't have the time,
I'm
but
so happy I got the job.
You can go through this. Once you get the slides, you can go ahead to listen to Oluwafikayo was able to get a job. She was able to transition. And then this is Joel.
Hello everyone. My name is Joel Madmere, and in September last year I enrolled for the data engineering program. And after an intensive training, I was able to get a job, and I want to say a big thank you to Tenalytics, because the interview I got, most of the things that I was able to speak about was because of the capstone project. Yes, the capstone project really stressed us, really grounded me in lots of skills in Airflow, in AWS, and these are things that I could very confidently talk about. And plus, the tools and the resources I used for the interview were tools that were given during the mentorship session. So I want to say a big thank you to everyone at Analytics, to the instructors, to everyone. I just want to say thank you, because I wouldn't have gotten a job without Analytics. So I just want to say a big thank you to Analytics. And if you're thinking about enrolling into any program, don't think twice. Go for it. Thank you.
Okay. So
hi everyone.
So fantastic.
My name is Victor Bolajuko.
So that was from what? That was from Joel. So this is Victor Bolajuko. Victor got a job as a financial analyst after completing the financial analytics program, but we don't have the time to go through all of the testimonials. Ensure you feel the attendance form, so you get access to the slides. And of course, you can always go to our pages and just take a look at all of this on how people were able to how people were able to make a switch. So Oluwafikayo is in Canada, Abisola is in the UK, Joel is in Nigeria. Annie, if you're asking, Joel is in Nigeria, so Joel got a job with a company outside Nigeria, but is currently in Nigeria. Okay, so I don't know if Joel mentioned that, but Joel is in Nigeria. So you can listen to all of these testimonials. You can listen to all of these testimonials, and you would also be able to make that switch. So many people have been able to help. I really can't go through all of them. I can't go through, it's a lot. It's a whole lot, okay? And we don't want to spend all day on the call. But why were these people successful? How can you be successful as well? Because, you might be wondering, you might maybe know someone, you probably have a friend that went ahead, your friend knows Python. 5 years ago, your friend told you, hello, honey, hello, James. I decided to go on this tech journey. I want to learn Python. I want to be a data engineer. I want to be a data scientist. And they went ahead to learn Python. Until today, they don't have a job in tech. And you might be wondering, so what is now the difference? What's the difference between that person and these people? What is now the difference? How can we help you land that job? It's easy. We know what works. For you to get a job, it's not just about you having the skills, okay? It's not just about you being able to understand Python, or you being a data engineer, or you being able to, oh, you know what, I can build pipelines, I can get the data to the data warehouse. No, it takes more than that. For you to get a job, you need to complete the job equation. And what is the job equation? T plus E will get you the job. The T is the technical skills, which is your ability to actually work on the job, your ability to understand Python, to know how to work with your AWS, to understand statistics, to know how to build machine learning models. All of those things you get, all of those things for sure. But for you to get a job, you need the other 50%. And what is the other 50%? Your employability skills. Your T plus E is what will get you the job. It's one thing for you to be able to work as a data engineer. It's something else entirely for a recruiter to believe that you can work as a data engineer and to go ahead to apply to employ you. They're two different things. So what works? At Analytics, what we are interested in is you getting a job. You would get the technical skills. That is sure. You are going to get the technical skills. But what we define as success, it's when you've been able to transition to landing that dream job. That is what we define as success. And we are very, very much successful. Let's take a look at a model for Victoria. Victoria, let's say Victoria. Victoria is a customer service rep. And she wants to be what? A data engineer. So what does Victoria need to do? How does Victoria need to change from being a customer service rep to a data engineer? The first thing first is that Victoria needs to learn. So she learns about the skills needed. That's using the LMS, because we have a dual learning approach, your live classes and the LMS. So you learn in class, so you just like we are doing at the moment, you're having a live interaction with the facilitator, you're working on problems, you're getting experience, you're asking questions, and then during the week, you have the LMS, where you have all the series of videos that you would watch and practice alongside that would introduce you to concepts you will be learning in the next class. So Victoria goes ahead to learn the skills. And then remember, Victoria has experience from customer service rep. She has never worked as a data engineer. She needs experience because there's no such thing as an entry-level role. I'm not going to come here and start selling you unicorns and start saying, oh, you know what? Once you go, you're going to get an entry-level role. Entry-level what? When was the last time you saw a job that said that, oh, you know what? For you to apply for the job, you don't need any sort of experience? If you go on any job board and you search for jobs, and if you see any job that says no experience required, it would be like 1 in 10 jobs. That's even if you find one. Every recruiter wants someone that has experience. Either you have 2 years experience, 2 years experience, 5 years experience, 100 years experience. Because no one wants someone that is going to come over and start learning on their dime. We are employing you to come fix a problem for us. We are not employing you to come and tell us that, oh, you know what? I just learned. I just trained last once. Okay, so now tell me. I want you guys to tell me this. Would you employ someone that has knowledge that will come over to help you fix a problem? Or would you employ someone that will come over to learn on the job? Who would you go for? Let's say you have a business. Who would you employ? A or B? Someone that has experience or someone that wants to learn on the job? Who would you employ? A or B? A. Thank you very much, Shade. Everyone is going to employ A. And there's nothing about being humanitarian now that, you know, I want to give back to the community. I want to assist. That's just the case. And we know. But still, we've been able to help so many persons transition. And that's because there are 2 ways you can get experience. Number 1 is by working on a job. When you work on that job, you gain experience. That's sure. But number 2 is by working on project-based experience. Because you might be wondering, if I need experience to get a job, and I need to get a job to get experience, how then do I break into that cycle? It's like an endless cycle. You're going round and round and round and round. You need a job to get experience, and you need experience to get the job. So how do you now get the experience when you need the job, and how do you not get the job when you need the experience? Are we together? Are we all together? Are we following? I need responses. Come on now. Come on. I need responses. Okay. Are we together, everyone? All right. So Tino is still with me. Okay. Akim is still with me. Fantastic. So you might be wondering, how then can I break into this space? That's why we have project-based experience. For you to get experience, you can also get that by working on project. Now, not just any project. It's not just, you know what, I'm gonna get a project, I work on a project there, I work on a project there. No, by working on real case studies. The way each and every one of your classes would go would be that the facilitators will go ahead to get experience, to get projects, to get problems that they encountered while working as a data scientist or while working as a data engineer, things that they did while on the job. They bring that problem to class, change a thing or two, that's change the name of the company, change a thing or two about the data due to data privacy issues, and then you get to work on that same problem, thereby you getting the experience that you have originally gotten while on the job. And all of that will be on your portfolio. As you can see, these are some portfolios of our past participants. Okay, so you can come over here to take a look at portfolios, and we'll take you through how you can build that portfolio. And then after you've gotten that project-based experience, the employability skills, your CV, what would your CV look like? What would your CV look like? I laugh so many times because I see, I don't want to say I laugh because then it might seem, oh, I should say it's a body, it's a, sorry, not a body, a meaning. Okay, oh, you know, you're a meaning. Don't ask me why I use kid languages. Okay, so instead of saying, oh, I say it's a mean person, I said a meanie. Apologies, everyone. I think I think I'm being influenced. So so we say, oh, Isaiah is a mean person. That is really not the case. But why did I say, you know, sometimes when I see CVs, because I'm a recruiter, I'm not an HR. But while I'm working on different projects within different organizations, sometimes I need to work on a project and I need to deliver at a specific time. Okay, I need to deliver on this at this specific time. So I'm working on this project. I need to deliver on, let's say, in a month's time. And due to my other engagements, I can't work on that thing alone. So what do? I then bring in people, build a team, they work on the project together. So work on the project together. And then of course, as soon as we're done, we're done. So it's on a contractor basis. So due to that reason, I've been able to interview, I think, over 100 people. All right. I'm not in HR, so I'm not HR. I have experience in data and in data engineering, data analytics, business analysis, predictive AI engineering, power platform development, that's platform engineering, but not HR. So I'm not in HR. But yeah, I've been able to recruit. And sometimes I see CVs. Just imagine you're applying for the role of a data engineer, and on your CV, I'm seeing customer service rep on your CV. What am I supposed to use that? What am I using that for? What is the recruiter going to use that to do? So many persons, when they go ahead to apply for jobs, they wait. They're like, okay, you know what? I just applied for a job today. So I'm gonna say in the next 5 to 6 days, I'm gonna get a call back from the recruiter. Or I'm sure the recruiter has a family. So the recruiter needs to spend time with family, spend time with the kids, spend time with the spouse. So I'll give the recruiter 5 extra days. And let's say 2 weeks stop. 2 weeks stop, I'm gonna get a call back. And the sad truth is that many times the recruiter does not even know that person exists. Why? They never saw the CV. They never saw the CV. Why? Because as soon as they submitted, as soon as the person clicked on send on the job board, the ATS clicked on delete. The ATS just took that CV and placed it somewhere else. Like these are not part of candidates you should even take a look at. What should be on your CV should be relevant to the job description, should be relevant to the job you're applying for, should have keywords that the job you're applying for require. So how then, now be wondering, oh, okay, I used to say, I understand, but do I really have a choice? So I don't have experience as a data engineer. So what do I place when I don't have experience as a data engineer? That is what the CV review session is for. Let's take a quick example. We have Victoria, right? Victoria is a what? Is a customer, is coming from customer service, okay? Customer service rep. She's migrating to data engineer. So what would that CV look like? Instead of her placing on her CV, customer service rep, what would be on her CV would be, let's say what would be on her CV would be customer data engineer. Okay, customer data engineer. And what does she do as a customer service rep? So Victoria takes calls, receives calls, complaints, and then get all of these things, and probably receive calls, complaints, tries to fix customers' issues, ensure customers are happy, all of those things. So what would that be on the CV? Victoria would say, as a customer data engineer, I collected different complaints from customers via different data sources, such as the website and the mobile application which the organization uses. All of this data I transformed and I loaded into a database, a SQL database, the PostgreSQL database to be exact. This data was assessed by the data scientists, where we were able to make inferences, build dashboard, get insights, and in so doing, we reduced the customer complaints by 20%. It's not perfect. What I just said is not perfect because I came up with this at the spot. Okay, so with time that can be more refined, but I'm sure we understand where I'm going to. So Victoria is coming from a place of what? Data engineering experience. And she already has project-based experience. So there's no question that she will be asked. She will be able to defend the fact that she works as a customer data engineer because she has actually worked on problems that data engineers work on. So maybe she's asked, oh, your time as a customer data engineer, was there a time where you fixed an issue with getting the data from the data set, maybe the customers complaints with the data set? Or you know what? Or maybe there might be a question like, I know customer complaints could be due to customer complaints being open end, that customers can type in whatever they want. How do you manage filtering the data? How do you manage cleaning the data? And she will be able to answer questions due to the fact she has project-based experience. Oh yes, as we get that, I usually work with my pandas in I work with my pandas and my NumPy in carrying out my data cleaning. Sometimes what I try to do is that I try to also create some sort of data model. I remove filler words. I remove filler words using, maybe you talk about the function. And when I say filler words, I'm talking about this, like your ands, this. And then so we can work with a word cloud, determining the most popular phrase that customers keep talking about. You just make it, you're able to talk from engineering experience. That is what the CV review is about. The LinkedIn optimization, navigating the job market, interview preparation, all of those things is meant to position Victoria as a what? As a data engineer for her to get the job. The job market is screwed. Only those that are ready to get the job get it. And we would help you get the job. Victoria also gets networking. She's able to network with different people that knows, so there's an opportunity that's existing at the moment. There's an opportunity that's there. There's an opportunity that's here. There's something for you to be a part of. So she's open to all of that. She's open to people. She can ask questions. That's your mentorship. And all of this put together will then give help Victoria land the job. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the different layers. Remember, you getting a job is not all about you getting the employability skills. Sorry, it's not all about you getting the technical skills. You're not just going to go learn Python and just say, oh, I've gotten the job. Like I said, I'm going to tell it to you how it is. I'm not going to start giving you unicorns. What are unicorns? I know I say this a lot, but unicorns are horses that have horns. Okay, so I'm sure we know what unicorns are. Maybe your kid that asks you for a time or two. Oh, please, dad, or please, mom, can I get a unicorn as a pet? Oh, I want a pet unicorn. I want a pet unicorn. And you have to tell them unicorns don't exist. Okay, so unicorns don't exist. They are horses with horns, but they don't exist. So I'm not going to tell you things that don't exist. Most jobs out there would require you to have the skills and to have some sort of experience. And so I talked about the difference that you need you need your two things. You need your technical skills and you need your employability skills. Everything I've talked about so far can be summarized into different sections you'll be having. From the level 1, where you begin with your CV review session, which will help you transform your CV, which I've talked about, help you have CVs that passes through the 2 major roadblocks. Number 1, the applicant tracking system, and that once it passes through the applicant tracking system and gets to the palm of the recruiter, that the recruiter goes ahead and knows that you are the one for the job, goes ahead to schedule an interview with you. The LinkedIn optimization session, which would ensure that you have great LinkedIn profile, because LinkedIn is now part of your application process. When you're applying for jobs, your LinkedIn profile is usually on the CV. You want to ensure that your LinkedIn profile is well optimized, because recruiters also go on LinkedIn to search for individuals, reach out to them to apply to certain jobs. I've done that so many times. Even at the moment, I think I've reached out. If I opened up my LinkedIn right now, due to data privacy issues, I'm not going to do that. I wanted to open up my LinkedIn right now. That's my LinkedIn account, and show you a series of messages that people have reached out to. People have reached out to if they're interested in working with me on different projects. And these are people that, but due to data privacy issues like their name and some other information, I wouldn't be doing that. Okay, but these are people that did not even know there were certain opportunities that existed. But I went to their profile, searched for the job. I searched for the job role, took a look at their profile. Those I felt could do the job, I sent them a message asking them if they're interested, talking about the job, and if they're interested, they send me their CV, and then we have an interview. That's only possible if you don't have a great LinkedIn profile. And an Upwork optimization, if you're interested in freelance, you want to freelance, you want to be a freelancer, you want to work 2 p.m. to 2:05 p.m. and then you call it a day. You want to be a freelancer, Upwork is a great one for you. The Upwork optimization session will show you how you can succeed in Upwork, how you can go ahead to how you can go ahead to work with Connect. If you're familiar with Upwork, you know that Upwork uses a currency, a system called Connect, where you need to pay to apply for jobs. You get to learn how all of that works, how you can write outstanding proposals to ensure that clients view your proposals, and then of course they go ahead to schedule an interview with you. And I'll be getting to job market sessions where you get to have professionals that will come in that will take you through what the job market is like in different climes, because some of us, we are new, we just migrated to a country and really don't know what the job market is like there, how to apply for job, how to get these jobs. The session would host individuals that would tell you how you can succeed, what they did that helped them succeed, and how you can do same to help you succeed. And then, of course, the job and interview preparation. Abisola talked about this. That's a testimonial we listened to earlier. When you've gotten, once you've gotten an interview, you can reach out to us. You can schedule a one-on-one interview session where you get to speak with a professional that will take you through that will take you through questions you should expect, how you should answer those questions, how you should talk about salary negotiation to ensure that you are not just, your feet is not just in the door, but that your entire being is actually thrown into that organization, that you do get that job. And when you've gotten a job, many recruiters want some sort of reference letter. They want someone that can back you up to say, oh, you know what, I've worked with this person is great, this person is fantastic. As long as you're an alumnus or a participant with analytics, you are sure of getting a reference letter. And then for level 2, your weekly mentorship. Mentorship is very, very important. Every week you get to be mentored by industry leaders that will come in to tell you new trends in the industry, things that you might be doing wrong, and how you can change those things to do things rightly, have better ways to position yourself, how you can get that job. Okay. And of course, on the job support, you've gotten a job, but you need help. You've been given a task that is not so clear. You can reach out to us anytime and we'll give you guidance on what you can do. You go back to work and of course you perform exceptionally well. For you to be a part of the program, the next quarter is going to begin December 7th. That is when the next quarter is going to begin. And for you to be a part of that, all you need to do is to register. And the registration fee is $750. That is the full amount. And if you are part of the first 20 persons to register, you get to have a 20% discount, thereby paying $600. So my colleague would be sending the payment link to the chat box. Once you click on that link, on the main stack link, there are two ways you can make payments. You can make payments either by using our website or by using the main stack link. And once you click on the main stack link, okay, once you click on the main stack link, it's going to take you to the Analytics Enrollment Center. Okay, but it'll take you over to the Analytics Enrollment Center, and in this sense, so what's the total for the cost? So it's $650. I'm sorry, $600 if you are part of the discount. That's the full amount. You are not paying anything extra. All right. So once you click on that link, so my colleagues will be sending in the payment link soon, and so we can go ahead to make payment. So once you click on that link, it will bring you over to the Analytics Enrollment Center, and then once you scroll down, you notice that you have you can see the discounts. So you can see the discounts is still running, and then you see you have the different programs. All right, from data analytics to business analysis to data engineering, full stack data science. So let's say you want to register for the full stack data scientist. Okay, that's full stack data science. You click on register for FSDS, and it will bring you over to this page where you get to make payments. Okay, so where you get to make payments. Now the payment, it's in so you can make payments in one installment, 2 installments, or 2 installments. Okay, you can make payments in 1 installment, 2 installments, or 2 installments. So at the moment, we can see that we have 10 seats available, 10 slots available. That's for the discount. So we already have 10 persons that have registered. So you want to try to take up the opportunity as quickly as possible. You can see we have $600, $200 in 2 installments, and $200 in 2 monthly installments. So if you go ahead to say, you know what, okay, I want to register, I want to key into my discount so I don't end up paying the full amount, you can go ahead and select the $200. You click on proceed to pay. It will take you over to where you insert your card details, your payment details, and then once you do that, you make payment. So this is if you pay in installments, let's say you make payment now, what in 1 month's time you get to pay the second installment, and then the third month, that will be in February next year, you get to pay the last, sorry, that'll be January next year. So the second month will be in December, the third month will be in January next year, you get to pay the balance. All right. And then once you make payment, you will get a link that will be sent. You get your receipts and a link that will be sent to you via email. So you want to click on that link to complete your registration. You upload your receipts, you fill in your details, and then you make payment. But if case maybe you're looking at, okay, you know what, I don't want to begin in December, I want to begin in January. Can I still make payment now? Absolutely. So you want to try to make payment now so you're part of the discount, because we are really not sure the discount is going to run going into the new year. And going into the new year, there might also be changes in price. So you can make payments now. You secure your discount slot. So going into the new year, you don't need to make any extra payments. You know you've registered. It doesn't matter if there's a change. You know you've registered, and then you can be a part of that. So you can always defer. You can make payments, and then when you are filling in that form, you're going to see an option to defer your program. So you can select that option, and then going into the new year, you get going into the new year when it's time for the next squad, you get all of the details you need to be a part of the program. So please, you need to register as quickly as possible, because like I said, we know what works, and we've been doing that. Once you get access to the slides, ensure you go through the numerous persons that we've been able to help. You know, so many testimonials. There are so many. I can't spend all the time here. So you can also click on this link. So on all of the links to listen to how we were able to help all of these guys get jobs. Okay, so I think I have some questions. So I can see a question from Hani. Hani is asking, how long will it take? Are you talking about the installments? I believe you're actually talking about the program. So how long will the program take? The data engineering program is for 5 months, 4 months of learning and 1 month of internship. So you get to learn for 4 months and you intern for 1 month. The data science program is for 4 months, you learn for 3 months, and you intern for 1 month. Data engineering, 5 months, 4 months of learning, 1 month of internship. Data science is for what? 4 months, 3 months of learning, and 1 month of internship. All right. And Kelvin is asking, any WhatsApp group for data engineering? So I'm pretty sure you're talking about the community. So once you make payment, you get to be a part of an exclusive community. Okay, but at the part of an exclusive data engineering community. But at the moment, you should be in the general community for our tech community, where you get to see updates on our different masterclasses and different opportunities that are open to you, Kelvin. All right. So Annie is asking, will you? Yes. So yes, you'll be interning with us. Yes. So the internship will be with Analytics. Tina is asking, how long is the business analysis program? The business analysis program is for 4 months, 3 months of learning, 1 month of internship. All our programs are for 4 months, except data engineering. Okay. All programs 4 months, except data engineering. 3 months of learning and 1 month of internship. I don't think we have any more questions. And thank you, everyone. I'm sure we had a great time learning what a data engineer does and learning what a data scientist does, understanding the difference between data science and data engineering. I can see Shoma is asking how classes conducted. So classes are on weekdays. On weekends. So you get to learn. You have classes on Saturdays. You get to learn on Saturdays, and then on Sundays, you have what we call the Watch Me Do It videos, which is on the Analytics LMS, which you will get access to as soon as you make payments. So I think I can also bring that up. So you get access to, just give me a moment. I'm going to show, I'm going to bring that up now so we get to see what it looks like. Okay, and well, thank you very much, Abby. Thank you very much, Abby. It's very, very much appreciated. Thank you very much. I'm gonna share my screen again so we get to see what the LMS looks like. Okay. All right. So this is the Analytics LMS. Like I mentioned, you're gonna get classes on weekends. So you learn on Saturdays. On Saturdays, you'd have your live classes where you're speaking with a facilitator. you are sharing experience, you are asking questions, working on projects, and then on Sundays you then have the watch me do it videos. So we have a dual learning approach. So it doesn't matter if you're a fast learner, if you're a slow learner, no problem, you're good to go. So over here you can see the data engineering course. At this point you can see interview preparation, so you can schedule an interview like I mentioned earlier, an interview prep, and then you can request for a reference letter. Over here you have the data engineering leaderboard for you to see how you're faring among your peers, just to create some sort of competitive fun approach to learning. And then over here you can see your completed lessons, your mentorship programs. So you have different mentorship programs, and you also have live mentorship programs that will be occurring. And then your stats, that's for you to take a look at your streaks, your badges end. And then over here you get to see your badges end, whereby for every assessment you take, you get to earn a badge that you can share on social media. You can, to show people what you can do. So for the data engineering program, I'm going to click on continue learning for data engineering, and let's see. And over here, you can see you have the different weeks from week 0 to week 1 to week 2. And then for week 0, you have module 0. There's, a welcome address. And then you can see what is data, big data. And then moving into week 1, where you have your different Python, that's Python data types. So from your first module, you have your Python data types and structures, where you get to learn about the different data types. I'm just going to select, let's say, integer and float. So I'll select integer and float, and that should load up. And then I can go ahead to click on play. Okay, I'll go ahead to click on play, and then you see it plays. So this is Efemina. So you're learning from Efemina. Efemina is a fantastic professional.
So basically,
it's
what are
teaching you about the
integers?
different types
Integers are
of
all
data types
numbers.
in
They are
Python.
all
In this case, that's talking about
Python.
your integers. Of course, you can make this bigger. Okay, in case if you are wondering, is it all going to be in a small screen? No, so you can make it bigger. So you get to listen to Efemina, and not just listen, but also practice
function to
alongside.
find out
I'm sure we
what
can
data
hear,
type
you
it
know,
is.
you can
So let's
we can hear the sound, and then over here you can download the course materials. So that's the materials that will be worked with, so you can practice alongside. It's not a session where you're learning, where you're listening. No, you're working alongside. And over here, after you're done, you can take an assessment or a quiz. So you see, it says I need to be done with the entire videos for the week before I can take the quiz. And yeah, so you get to learn. So you see, we have different weeks: week 2, week 6, week 7, week 8, down to cloud engineering. So you have all of these, and then you also have the live classes. Like I said, it's a dual learning and hybrid learning format. So if you're the kind of person that loves speaking with someone, you want someone to, just like the way we are having this interaction now, no problem, you have the live classes. If you're the kind of person that prefers going at your own pace, watching videos, no problem, you are good to go as well. Someone mentioned I go through, I think that was James mentioned I go through the payment system again, so no problem. As soon as you click on that link, as soon as you click on the payments, the main stack link, which my colleague has been sent into the chat box, it will bring you over to the Analytics Development Center. You scroll down and then you search for the program you're looking to register for. So let's say you want to register for data engineering. You click on register for data engineering, and then it will bring you over to this page. Okay, it will bring you over to this page where you get to make payments. Okay, and then you can select if you want to make payments in installments. So you can select 2 installments, or one-time payment. Okay, so you click on that, you click on proceed to pay, and then you go ahead to pay. And then once you pay, you will be sent, you will want to make payments, you will be sent your receipt. You will be sent your receipt and also a link to your mail. Your receipts and a link will be sent to your mail. Once you click on that link, you click on that link to complete your registration process by uploading your receipts, inserting your details, and then once you submit, you get a confirmation email from us, and in addition to everything that you need to be a part of the program. So will you be getting a certificate? Yes, you'll be getting a certificate. Yes, you'll be getting a certificate at the end of the class, at the end of the program. Will this recording be shared? Yes, the recording can be shared. Will be shared. Yes, it will be shared. So all you need to do to get access to the recording biology is that you need to go ahead to fill in the attendance form. So my colleague is also mentioning the attendance form. So all you need to do, just click on that form, insert the details, and the materials, everything you need will be sent across to you. So you can go ahead to go through the session, understand what data engineering and data science is all about, and go ahead to register so you are part of the program. And with this, I'll say thank you everyone for joining me. I did enjoy my time. I hope you did as well. And I will see you all when next I see you all. Please ensure you make payments quickly, because as I always say, quick says the clock. Whatever you have to do ensure you do quick. Cheers, guys.